to win, but after that first map performance, Zeta are coming in here as the favorites for me, Tom.
Maybe I'm delusional. No, I definitely am delusional. But, you know, I think
nice
they can do it. I think it's going to be a composition that's difficult to play against. Sure, I do worry on the attack, not having that aggression. Maybe they won't need it, because it seems like the defense is going to come to them. Already looking for the fight. Laz has just been so clean, but it is just going to be trades for now. Depth, they know he's here. He's already been pushing. In fact, he's going to wrap back round and try and spot the spike. The problem is, he is stuck, but he does well to at least get himself back into position. And now the rest of his team are looking to wrap around from behind. Sugar Zero already adding his first to the tally.
Just popping down the snake bite as well, try and slow them as much as he can, making sure they get around the corner and back through mid. Crow stuck around for a moment, but he's made the right call and falling back. Okay, man advantage for Zeta, but Dep is extremely low after that early push. And in fact, the A side's completely open. Fnatic have got this for free. They'll be able to get a plant down. I'm looking over at Zeta. They have got shock darts, but they're going down. Oh, yeah, that's actually hitting Fearoth pretty hard.
Yeah, definitely giving them an easier time of getting back into the site. Now, Hyber's got to go huge here. In an aggressive spot. Basically hoping that nobody clears him, and I don't think this recon's actually going to get him at all. There's an opportunity. In fact, he manages to escape as well, even doing an extra little bit of damage to the remaining player of Sugar Zero. They're trying to clear out some of these spots. The shock dart doing a lot of damage, might even kill off one at least, and the dash. What? It's just straight across from Sugar Zero. He's going to go pushing. What is that?
There is absolutely no reality that that should have worked out. From the top rope.
The floor.
The right.
Wow. Okay, Sugar Zero. I see you. I don't know. It's got to be so brutal, because other than that, like, Fnatic played it well in that clutch situation, isolating the initial duel, killing off the other player, and then just Sugar Zero. Sugar Zero, that's all I got.
Good shock darts by Crow as well. He tagged up Fearoth, made it possible for that second bullet to kill him so quickly. TENN's gone down, starting this one off. I mean, Fnatic have got an eco. We know what that means. They win these rounds every time. On the answer back, whether it's the second or the third, whenever they don't invest.
Has a headhunter as like just a gun that he's allowed to keep for the entirety of the time. So
if they take down Laz, he's the only player that can really fight on range. But Laz is coming up close, already taking Boaster. Up above, Dep is getting nothing done. Huge damage onto Laz. Players peeking him from every which angle. I frankly have no idea how he's still alive. But they're only barely hanging on. Zeta come up against an eco here. And they're getting shock darted down. 1-to-1, Fnatic. I do not understand how.
No, these last two rounds, I'm almost just going to try and forget that happened and just carry on as if this is round one.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go about this. Zeta on the eco, stacked up on A, Tom, and unfortunately for them, Fnatic are taking it to the other side of the map. They're going to find the B site nice and open, even making sure with the drone going over, clearing out all their angles, wall goes up, plant goes down. Zeta are going to have a pretty tough time retaking. I'll say one thing, they haven't used their Viper wall just yet. That's going to give them a decent advantage if they can get towards this site.
They haven't used any utility, really.
They got to deal with Mistic, and it's not going to be terribly easy to win these fights. And no one even has a sheriff. Oh, sorry, Dep has a sheriff, but he's gone through mid. So anyone taking those ranged fights from spawn was just doomed.
Yeah, I think a lot of this will just come down to trying to get some exit kills, earn up some ultimate orbs. You can even see just the 0 point being used to try and just find out where these defensive players are. Either that or they'll just all die to the spike, which is also absolutely fine. You don't want to give those orbs over on the other side. Hyper actually swings. Well, that's already the rifle down. Now, winning this is impossible, but they could take a lot of players with them, and so far, so good. Already getting a couple. In fact, this is almost just a wipeout. They will. They take every single player away from Fnatic. That's an incredible round.
When Fnatic invests...
Yeah, they put themselves in an incredibly good position. I've changed my mind. I'm now starting the game from here because I don't want that round to be the starting point either.
Is that how we're just going to go through this whole game?
Just
I feel like
game.
Yeah, 3 rounds. Now you'll be like, you know, we're starting ICEBOX here.
I like that round. Once I like that, that's where it starts.
All right, so we're starting here. This is a Tombiz approved good round. Let's see what that consists of. 1 minute 20 on the clock. Fnatic slowly moving to the A site. They have their flank covered by Mistic, who is in my least favorite position on any map ever. in the spawn of ICEBOX.
We just call it Rat.
Rat, yes.
It's called Rat.
A ratty little spot.
The worst thing is as well is they have a couple of traps there, so he doesn't really need to be there. He's just doing it to kill anybody that gets caught in the trap. Although no one's gone in that direction, which is also good for Fnatic. It's the info they need.
They were 1 second, 2 seconds maybe on Zeta away from getting the kill there with the shock dart. A little bit late on the lineup. The Viper was in position, but Pro wasn't. Hyber's managed to avoid this. Look, he's in a great spot. Oh, only the one, but he gets out. Halfway defused already. Guys spraying away. He's almost got it, but they've dealt with him eventually. Kills are coming in, though, quickly. Crow already for a triple. And with that spike defused halfway, it was dangerous. But Mistic, he managed to clean it up nicely from up above on Belt.
They're almost going to have to just pre-fire that close box, because he has done that twice. Where it's just like, I'm just going to sit here. If I kill one of you, I'm gone. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. That gives him the advantage in the afterplant.
Didn't actually expect to hear that used up already. So Laz at the start of the round didn't have his ulti popped. He wasn't using the Tour de Force, he was using the Headhunter instead, trying to peek down long range. He was actually a little late setting up his utility too. Once he got that done, he decided to go for the Tour de Force, holding the long range angle. He's now going to TP back and leave the B side, start moving mid. This is great early control for Zeta.
Okay, thank God.
They have the rotations now. They know that the A side is where the push is going to be coming through. With pistols, I mean, it's as good as it gets, being able to correctly predict and guess the stack. But now you see, Laz gets a kill, but he's going to be the last player alive. And it's, thought Crow would be dead by now.
If that flash didn't come through, it would have got him. Well, unfortunately, the Tour de Force isn't an actual gun. It's an ultimate. Now Mistic is wrapping around the backside, so this should be free. At least the kill onto Crow. He's watching on for Laz. That's the better kill to find, and eventually they'll clean up this round. Not too much damage done in the end, but it did look like it could have gone out of control.
Yeah, it got a little bit. I'm looking at where he is. He's over on the A site, maybe looking to fight up towards Belt, but you can see Fnatic are also going to take this one a little bit slow. Fearoth is on Belt, but he's down below, peeking above, making sure that there's no pushes coming through. This is a default out of Fnatic. They know that Zeta might try something fishy in this round.
Well, that's the thing. When you have a comp that has a Chember and a Jett, you have to be taking some map control away, because just holding back on the site is not going to work out. You just don't have the defensive capabilities. So you expect to see Laz getting aggressive. You expect the same with the Bladestorm on the other side. So that's why Fnatic are just waiting, watching to see if anybody's going to go in their direction. And because they're not, well, they're eventually going to try and fall back into an execution.
And you have to realize in these sort of rounds, for a team like Fnatic, it doesn't make sense for them to go for some sort of scrappy kills unless they're willing to execute on the back of that frag, because you have the res for Zeta.
Hyper still has a trap. Now, we've been seeing him put this down in mid to just stop that mid-aggression. They've also had players holding that in the past. They're not doing that in this round, but I guess it's just because nobody's been aggressively pushing, so they're just going to utilize it somewhere else.
Yeah, post-plant utility can be fantastic to even just keep them in position, slow them down when they go for the defuse and so on. But for a defuse to happen, that plant has to happen. And so far, that's been pretty tough to get. They're moving towards the site, but TENNN gets a double. Bladestorm in play, Depth tagged up. Going to be taken down, though. The dash saves his life. He's inside the Viper's pit. Confident with the right click in hand, defending the spike.
Running out of time.
Inside this ultimate, 10 seconds left, and Mistic goes down. Fearoth, though, in for the double, but he won't follow through on the final. Laz saves the day, and a second round falls into Zeta's hands. Props to TENNN there on the early wall that he put down left side of A. Stopped them from being able to easily get the plants for Heaven and play the post plants there, but also really siphoned them around that left side. You saw TENNN was completely ready for it. He just isolated them, took them down in that little alleyway as they walked through, and they had to worry about peeking into spawn and up above where Laz had gotten them before on the balcony. Same wall goes down. This time, though, it's Fnatic to come ahead in the early rounds, finding depth right away. Oh, TENNN!
Wow.
That's clean and in through the wall. Laz is absolutely ruining their chances. Hyber doing his best from afar to keep things in their favor. They got to get forward and pick Boaster back up pretty soon, or else he's going to be down and out.
No, I think they have bigger problems as well. They've just lost another player in the form of Fearoth, and Hyber, it looks like he might have to try and do this alone, but he's giving it a damn good go! Quick flick, but he tries to swing back through, and actually the timing almost doesn't work out for Mistic. These rounds are so ridiculously close, but again, Fnatic come out on top.
And we saw them stack up A site, the retake, back over towards, they pushed up A, they came through spawn, they went through the tube. This time, a bit of a different approach. Zeta still leaving the B site. They're going to play in towards mid, pushing down.
They don't have the trap there anymore because of the fact that they've not pushed mid at all, and now they've all pushed mid. Luckily, there is still the second one, so it's going to give the information to Mistic anyway. It won't give him the information of how many players are actually there. He's got to be careful. Already getting closed in on by Jett. There's not really anywhere else for him to go, but the duel's actually starting to get a bit scary here.
20 HP, yeah, he's backing off, getting the heal and trying to stay out of their sight lines. His teammates covering, good shot coming through. And Mistic's just running for them at this point. Well, I wish I didn't see that. That's going to be the round for Fnatic anyways. Picked up 6 on the board now. And as I said, you know, stick with what I know, Tom.
Like the method of which they play, but also the fact that they're running a composition that I just don't think Zeta will have had to play against too often. Like, not having a Jett in there is definitely a little bit peculiar, at least for what has been played in the region, and more so actually coming up against a KO, which, okay, sure, fragging-wise, Boaster hasn't done much, but it's more just that utility, just removing what they have available. Now, Laz, it's such a dirty angle, and he's already gone. Nothing they can do to trade it, although Mistic was in spot, but then Laz hits the second shot as well.
Yeah, this is something that you'll see from Jets in that position, but this guy already found enemies to close it out. Wow. Well, I said there's not really such a thing to think that Laz may now have a fire lit under him.
Yeah, if he didn't already, he definitely has his tour de force.
What just happened there? Sugar Zero, I think he swapped, like he started the animation and then he went off it. That was kind of weird.
I think he got hit by it. He fell back and got hit by a 0 point at the same time. So I think it just kind of like bugged it out a little bit, or at least it looked like it did.
He got it down eventually, at least, and a little bit further back than where he had initially planned to put it, where it would have actually pierced it much further through that midpoint.
Yes, good. Use the drone. Use the drone. Force him back. Oh no. Oh no, he's still there, but doesn't actually get anything for it this time. And Depp has been tagged up, so he'll have to pull back, at least forcing this position out. Now, I will say there's been a huge risk with going into this B site, and that risk is Laz.
Well, they now know that back yellow is clear. They've got their wall up to cover, and Laz has been wall banged, but here's still the danger man of Depp. The wall's going to go down in just a few seconds. There it is. But luckily, there's a Sage wall to block Depp's, hoping someone gets a little over eager and wide swings in. Iber's playing this one patiently. There's the res coming through. They'll try to spam. They're not finding him. Okay, numbers are going to be evened up. This is definitely doable for Zeta. The flank from Sugar Zero is being held for. Like, they've got the PC utility down to cover it. Hunter's Fury to run this clock down a little bit more. 2 quick kills, though. Now things get dangerous. Operator around the right side, and they've just done it in the blink of an eye. Zeta have gotten away with the round win. Yeah. What a retake, man.
Really, really solid retake. I love the fact that they wait until they have the screen basically fully loaded up. They then, especially, you can almost see how close a lot of these rounds have been because Fnatic, no money.
So they're going to win this round cleanly if the pass is anything to go by. This series has been a little bit ludicrous. 1:30 on the clock. Fnatic are fully dedicating themselves to the A side. They've got that super passive PC utility, covering out any sort of flanks coming through. Good flash. Depp's been spotted moving over as well. He's going to be naded out of the corner. The dash, the updraft. He is really trying to stay alive. Good recon for the kill.
Just a tasty tap from TENNN. He's been so good at the back of the site. The pop flash through, though. He's so blind. He's completely blind, but Boaster whiffs. He gets nothing from it, and now TENNN can just fall back out of this site. The shock dart not going to kill him off, and TENN's just farming at this point, making sure that res is going to be back online in a matter of seconds. And Mistic, well, he's inside his Viper's pit. It's TENN. TENN gets that kill as well. Okay, Fearoth will have one, and Crow has stolen himself. Or stolen the ace away, I should say. But either way, a recovery from...
to dominate. But instead, the risk was taken down before it could become too great. Fnatic now in a position where they could be tied up at the halftime. Immediately, Laz pops his ultimate starting out this final round of the half. A scary thing when this man has the tour de force. Depp is, look, so Depp is there, and actually right behind him is Laz with the tour de force. Unfortunately for them, Tom, again, they have gambled on the wrong side.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because most of the victories that have come in from Fnatic have been on this side of the map. We're going to see the wall up to give them that afterplant at least, but oh, they've actually got the shock dart. It's so close. It's so close to working out on MAGNUM, but the afterplant comes through.
Yeah, it's not the first time that we've seen it attempted by Zeta. Although previously it had landed for big damage. Good shot by Fearoth from far away. Hyber not going to overstay his welcome. They have the plant, the snake bites coming through. Flash out a Boaster. Really trying to push up and take this fight on the back of the ultimate. It sort of forces them into an awkward position, but with the res still to work with, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Getting that defuse will be tough, but Sugar Zero's got a triple! This is unbelievable! The defuse has gone through! Sugar Zero's got 4 kills in this round! It's just again and again, Laz is the guy you're looking at, but Sugar Zero's stolen my heart. This guy's just crazy. And the agency's doing it on as well, right? The Astra, 24-12 last map, and now almost leading the charge here. Considering the game that Laz has had and some of the shots he's hit, that's pretty damn impressive. Single-handedly responsible for that last round, I'll add as well. 6-6, the pistol carrying a lot of weight here. Fnatic want to get off to a good start on the defense. And it's the A site that Zeta are looking towards. All 5 players stacked up.
Yeah, again, we're going to have this corner spot for Hyber. Just looking to try and get himself a kill and maybe escape from this position. It just has to be that escape. In fact, it's Laz on the other side who goes pushing back through already with a double opener for his squad. And sure, they don't necessarily have the utility they want, but they'll wait it out and get the afterplant.
Only the Boaster had gotten the suppress off there, and the wall had gone down. That could have been incredibly awkward. Look at Sugar Zero go. He's already to the back of the site, but now he's dropped. The numbers in favor of Fnatic. 2 versus 1 retake. Utility in play, though. Crow's got both of his shock darts still, and that's a great connection to start with. Hyper left down so low, but no shot will be connected. Fnatic have won the pistol, only barely, though. Look at that HP.
Yeah, a little bit too close for comfort, but they do manage to make the retake work, and even just slowing them down a little bit with the 0 point. It was one of those things that
back and say, oh, you're a support player. Yeah, no worries. This is someone that, if anything, can be top of that board. And for someone like Boaster with a history in CS, I mean...
Oh, Mitch, stop talking about him.
It doesn't get any easier for him,
Sue's going to be running in here and just kicking your shins, just taking you out of the picture. Because that's so brutal. And now, well, Hyber's having to try and react to this. You don't want to allow them that space into mid. Sure, you've got the slows available. And there is a man watching MAGNUM just spraying them down. He's going to get himself 3. Turns this round back into the favor of Mistic. Well, I was going to say it's there to clean it up. And well, okay, Hyber got there in the end. We'll ignore the other shots. A few credits wasted, but it's fine.
That's a good spot.
Not in that
They're
spot.
spread out enough, so... If you think about it, it's like a 1 Cheerio per square foot ratio. That's pretty good. No, you know! Good. You know what? If Mistic got more than 1 there, I would have been angry. Good trade, though. Hyber's gone down as well. Zeta making some good room over towards this side, and that was very awkward, at least nearly leaving MAGNUM down and out of that round. Early flank from Fnatic. They're going to be double pushing behind, and that's just to go get those rifles.
Yeah, of course, this is a bonus, so a lot of the weaponry is weaker here from Fnatic. Anything they can do, and you know what? MAGNUM's slowing them down. That's the thing. They've actually managed, by the looks of it, to go through the trap. So they're coming in on the flank. They're picking up all that extra weaponry, and it doesn't look like anybody's really facing in that direction. Sure, they've got the screen to cover them off at least for now, but that control's going to be coming back just a little bit late on the fragment, unfortunately.
Oh, good kill by Boaster, though. He's able to follow up. Sees the space. They're still looking to push up on this. MAGNUM has spotted the player up close. They have the info to play with him. Boaster's following up. We said this man had been quiet. Well, no more. Good kills coming through, and a third to close out the round. That's exactly what we want. Fnatic picking up the round with Boaster, finding kills, getting into the swing of things. This can be a much more promising defensive side.
I think he just got more than double.
You used to have a word.
Well, she's a Rottweiler.
I think I'd rather a Rottweiler, to be honest. It's less intimidating.
Oh, God.
Well, Zeta, 3 rounds behind on the attack, and now they're forced down to an eco. Although, look, there's still quite a lot to work with here, especially that tour de force. If they do get towards the site, Sugar Zero has his Viper's Pit. And with the way he's been playing so far, you really do not want to give them that kind of control. But what's the alternative? Fight up on close range angles or hold these long range angles versus a tour de force? Probably get taken down by just a silly peek out of Laz. A shot that he shouldn't hit, but he would anyways. They have to play passive, and that puts Zeta in a pretty good spot if they can get towards the site.
Yeah, the thing for Fnatic, though, is this composition has so much plant denial. That's the thing that makes them incredibly scary. Like, you've got the fragment, you've also got the snake bites, you've got the shock darts as well. You can combine that with slows. So although this may just look like them giving up the space, there is plenty available. And especially, we've already seen these combinations come through from Viper and Sova, and they're just waiting. You can see it. Mistic is literally a perfect deserving, by the way. Perfect. Just waiting with that extra piece of utility just to try and stop them. And already they're going to get stuck in the mud. TENN taking damage, but he gets away. And actually, Crosshair shot through.
That's a perfect trade in a round like this. Putting them into a 4 versus 4. Viper's Pit's still up. Sugar 0 with a silenced weapon to spray through. Little bit of an awkward fight for Laz.
Dirty.
It's exactly the angle he wants to fight on. Only good for the 1 kill, but look at the flank coming around. Crow's being spotted. Luckily, recon through. That's the reveal. Mistic only barely survives that. The res on Hyber. Desperation starting to come out of Fnatic. There's a kill for Mistic, though. They'll close in the distance. They'll start to defuse. You've got to get out of there. In fact, there's no way out. Hyber ends up going down, trying to defuse, and that is the round done. A low buy for Zeta,
Oh, no.
but the dangers were there. They were highlighted, and Fnatic just could not deal with them. Oh my, we really wanted to see, I mean, Jess said it on the desk, right? You want to see Fnatic come in, get jiggy with it, but
Very little you could do from that because you're so low on HP. It's annoying as well because a lot of the utility that was used before, like the combination of the slow and the fragment in the back of yellow, it made some of the jewels really well isolated. It's just incredibly well played in the afterplan. Now it looks like there's going to be a bit of a pace change in towards A. And this is where a lot of Fnatic are currently remaining. They've actually been spotted.
I don't think that's where they wanted that poison orb to land. And even looking at the mini-map, you might not realize that it hasn't landed in the correct spot. But it doesn't really matter when Laz just runs forward and kills someone like that. Great opening duel for them. Zeta still with a bunch to play with. Now that that ultimate from Boaster is gone, you're going to have the Blade Storm available for Depp. But then they're not even going to need it for now, you know? They're just playing with the rifles. Like, I was thinking that from the perspective of, like, Sugar Zero getting a drop, but he doesn't want to even fight at this point, so it doesn't matter what weapon's in his hand. He's staying back, keeping the wall up and online, and they're hoping that Fnatic will late round either rotate off this site or push forward to get information. And they are 3-man stacked up here, so
Yeah.
the next couple of seconds, they kind of need to make a call on what they want to do.
That's the thing. They've had Hyber watching deep into B, so they know that no one's taken any level of control, so they've just been patiently waiting. Boaster, he's going to get one, but they're incredibly fast on the trades. It's only really Fearoth here, and he gets everything! Just one man standing in the form of Hyber. Now, he's been lightning fast with this weapon before. Is he still going to expect him to be below? That's the problem. He's going above, and it's perfect from Depp. A beautiful round from the Jett, and Zeta, well, they're within 1.
Now, they're hitting another level. Ideas in how they're going to push. This isn't Depp playing ranked and just dashing and styling on them. It's Depp doing that on the back of his teammates, distracting.
He just went to try and line up a slow and has just thrown it straight into the wall and bounced back into the spawn.
No,
Don't re-swing that! No! Why have he swung the judge? Oh, Mistic's got away with murder. Did he get walled up by his teammate? I like that. It's just like, goodbye. You fight. They won't expect you to be there. And wow.
I like it.
That's a huge early trade out from Fnatic, and it's completely shut down anything on the other side. It looks like they're still going to be playing retake on A, though, so an opportunity for that afterplan to be set up, and we've already seen it, well, be quite powerful. The worry, though, Mitch, is they don't have any of the snake bites anymore.
How audacious do they think Zeta is? I mean, I know that Sugar Zero did re-peek into the judge, but surely at this point, you know, you're not really expecting them to go, should we go and see if the judge is still there and walk in? But they're 3-man stacked up. And this is a heavy gamble from Fnatic, and one that is not going to pay off. They'll have to play the retake on the A side, but they know that. They've made that choice.
Yeah, they've heard the steps.
Oh, there it is.
It doesn't work out. And Boaster's actually gone down to the aggression coming out from Laz. In fact, he's going to continue his push. Holding the angle. I don't know if it'll be expected. In fact, he's going to wrap back around and catch out Fearoth. It's a perfect play from Laz. TENN is also in position. This is falling apart for Fnatic, but Hyber at least lands a shot.
Makes it doable. The drone from Crow just one away from his Hunter's Fury. If he gets a kill, this round is over. Unless they can trade it out immediately, but that'll be tough with Laz right behind him. Good kill. Hyber getting one. The defuse underway. There's a lot of pressure on Laz. He's got to run forward, and he won't get there in time. The round goes to Fnatic in the end. Double digits secured.
Yeah, I think that this is to drop over the remaining weapons. Deppel has himself a Blade Storm, and by the looks of it, for Mistic, it's going to be a complete site change as he'll look to lock down A.
Yep, solid ultimate coming through. This makes it near impossible for Zeta to get any ground towards this side of the map.
Get out of my way!
See, Laz is... he's sort of dancing around a little bit. Making sure they don't push up above.
Take flight.
But I wonder where we're going with that. Okay, yeah, he just TP'd out. Pulled back his anchor. It's time to leave. In these sort of rounds, I mean, because it looked like what Laz was waiting for was someone from Fnatic to push through. Because after the first 10 seconds, that just ain't going to happen. Zeta, though, redirect their attention to B. Haven't found ground there. And now they're going to rely on Laz to open up some space. And it's going to be the lurk through middle to catch them off guard once the distraction comes through on the site. Fnatic need to make sure they don't leave that gap open.
And they haven't. They've got 2 players currently around that position. The Viper's Pit still locking things, and well, now starting to spot the utility on the other side. Is there going to be a swing here? It looked like Hyper was attempting to try and fight that. Now utility might actually be delayed. I don't know if that actually caught Sage, though. That would be the real problem if they can't actually utilize this wall. Time really starting to tick, and they're reliant on depth to get something here.
Well, he's not going to get anything in that position, and the spray's coming through, breaking off the wall. Not quite in time, though. Laz has been lurking here for quite a while. Finally getting himself a little bit of success. Hyper's gone down, and so is Boaster. Oh, this is starting to get desperate now. Zeta with so much control and a beautiful tap from TENN. That's his 3rd kill in this round, leaving Fearoth to attempt a clutch.
Oh my, it's just instant. It doesn't even give them a chance to react. There's been so he's so invested into bringing this rifle through, and by the looks of it, we are just going to have a straight-up A-site fight. In fact, every single member here, Magnum's going to go for that ult straight off the bat, and there's not really anything they can do to deny it. Hyper, however, is going to get aggressive and manage to fade away. There's a quick trade, though.
And there's a res, so the numbers are right back up. They try to trade it back, but Fnatic fall behind yet again. Zeta, they've got the advantage, but they've not got the sight just yet, and they know there's a lot of players in front of them. Still, look at the clock, 1:15, there's plenty of time. These guys don't need to rush in. And with the ultimate, like, tour de force online, this is definitely a round to pump the brakes. Their back is covered. These players cannot push up B. They cannot come behind from middle. And in fact, they're going to push straight forward with Boaster looking to catch Crow. Good kill! The response from Fnatic is clean. With those 2 frags, the advantage is now theirs. And it's Fnatic that just pulled back. They're willing to let this clock run down a little bit more. Oh, they don't think he's here!
They don't know he's pushed up! And he's also got his orb there. Fearoth just hiding within the site. He's going to peek out there, kills for free at least. Turns it down to just 1 man, TENN, but they might have expected him to fall back. He's going to get scanned up. He's going to get scanned up twice. Definitely knowing his current position and the rotation time somewhat fading away, he's just going to try and get himself a plant, and well, they're going to spam straight through it, not allowing for anything. Caught on the reload could be a little bit of an issue for Fearoth. He's now been isolated. This fight is just ugly as hell, but it will be the round coming through from Fnatic, and I think the point that really needs to be made there.
The last bullet or something, you know, but you gotta do my boy dirty like that. 2 rounds between them, Fnatic pick up yet another low buy. You know, it's just again and again, man.
Yeah. They are miracle workers.
I mean, I at least gave Zeta the credit this time. I was like, oh, they're going to tie it up. I was like, because surely, you know, it's not going to be like 6 for 6 or something, but yeah.
See, that's the thing, though. I'm starting to question, is it just that Fnatic are really good at low buy rounds, or you're incredibly good at jinxing Zeta?
You typically don't put that much effort into a low buy round, though. You don't put pressure into it. You start to play some risky plays, and sure, that can catch your opponents off guard, and I think for Zeta, that's certainly been somewhat of an issue in some of these duels, like the aggression out of Boaster clearly wasn't expected, even though Crow was holding the angle before. But it doesn't really come down to that. I really feel like for Fnatic in these rounds, they're going back to more, I want to say, loose, puggy type. Like they're doing these things like these little bait setups and trying to pull players into angles. And that's really what's working for them. I guess going back to the fundamentals, to the basics, which isn't really that much of a surprise again for a team that has, as 5, practiced for a handful of days.
Well, again, the early pressure from Zeta has baited some rotations away. Not a whole lot remaining when it comes to this A site, but it seems like Fnatic are starting to have an inkling that the push is going to come in on this direction, and while Zeta are not exactly being subtle about it.
No, they are certainly making a lot of noise on the way towards this A site. We're going to have the same attempted plant up above, and although the wall is broken from the spams, TENN makes it out of there pretty healthy. Oh, what an angle. He almost had it, the shot barely whizzing past Mistic's head. Hyber catches the re-peek. Okay, Fnatic on the way back through. What does Zeta have? Okay, that's very early. Laz out of there with just the one. Rez coming through. Hunter's Fury trying to catch the tags. And oh, what is that out of depth? He goes running through. Mystic's gone down to the Hunter's Fury, and the entirety of Fnatic fall apart. It is remarkable how strong they...
From Fnatic. The few days they had to practice, they can't work in this sort of environment, so they then get stuck whenever these sort of plays happen, and that's where someone like Depth can get a bit cheeky, push up, get aggressive, and take those sort of fights. We're back to a low buy round again. It's got a couple of Guardians, a rifle alongside it, but it's a different take. Now, the trap will give this away. They're going to know that there's players here, but they swing out wide, and Laz, where you can't give this man freebies. You just can't.
No, this guy just doesn't miss. That's 27 kills already. And he is the heartbeat of Zeta at this point, keeping them alive. Push through middle. It's an attempt by Mistic. He's seen 3-4 players. Yeah, it was going to go that way no matter what. The slow orb down as well gives the good assist over to TENN. This is going to be a tied-up game, unless you get some incredible round out of MAGNUM holding down this A site. Fearoth's here to help at least. But you got to be pretty hopeful to see this as a positive.
He's got to hope that doesn't spawn when it's gone the other way, but there's a late lurk through, and well, now they know. There's absolutely no chance. A Prime Gaming Flawless coming through as well. At a perfect moment. It's going to set...
Going. Zeta built up the momentum. The early picks have been solid for Laz. Every duel he takes, he walks into with an immense amount of confidence, and you know exactly why. That's results-based confidence if I've ever seen it. Look, he's walking through the poison orb. Absolute madman. They have snuck underneath middle. They've gotten their way onto the B side already. Hyber is none the wiser that his flank is completely
if
open.
If he teleports back, he's dead. And he won't even know. They've even killed Boaster in towards the spawn. So Hyber's going to turn around and...
They missed each other. They've
no, he doesn't even know. He doesn't know that they're this far forward. This round is just a complete surprise to Fnatic. Nice shot from MAGNUM, but I almost wonder if it might be worth just going for a save here, bringing some weaponry into the next round, because this complete change-up in pace just straight through mid has left them none the wiser.
They dragged out those rotations perfectly as well, right? Boaster was holding for the walkout underneath, but they decided to leave it at just the... It's not a terrible surprise. You're seeing Sugar Zero still in the same position to throw it down on mid.
This is it.
But you leave that gap, you take the gamble, and well, they've paid the price. Now Fnatic are trying to hold on to survive here in Reykjavik. Can only imagine Durka watching from the hotel room. Flown all this way, isolated, ready for playoffs, and yet they are so far away from playoffs now. OT needed as Zeta look to take that victory for Japan, and they're moving towards the B site to do it. All of their players moving here. And again, Sugar Zero with a Viper's Pit. They just do not lose rounds when this guy has that ult.
Laz is going to take first contact. They're trying to be a little bit more proactive in their denial of this space. Early snake bite will hold them back at least a little bit longer, and this time the spam has stopped them completely. Forced them to fall back, and the whole squad is waiting. Just look, they are not allowing them to utilize that wall whatsoever, and this has been one of the things that Fnatic has failed at. It's just denying that little bit of extra space. Laz, however, is looking to try and take the fight himself, and well, with the Hunter's Fury coming through, it actually does connect onto TENN, but this space is just not expected. Those trades coming back and forth, but this time Fnatic on top. It comes down to the 1v1. Boaster has struggled thus far in this match, and he's facing off against Depp on that operator, just waiting for him to try and go for the plant. He's not connected. The initial shot of the blade sword comes out. He's gonna dash in, and he closes it like that.